And we begin with this breaking news. A SWAT standoff comes to a dramatic end in Whittier. A woman is in custody after remaining holed up inside of a truck for hours.
CBS 2's Adriana Weingold is live in Whittier with more on the woman's arrest. Adriana.
Well, it was a dramatic ending to this SWAT standoff out here in Whittier. The suspect, a woman, had barricaded herself inside her truck for several hours. We want to go ahead and show you some video from Sky 2 from earlier today. You can see the commotion around the truck as deputies try and talk her out. Now, this all started in Norwalk earlier in the evening when there was some sort of a fight between two neighbors. The woman took off. Sheriffs tried to pull her over, and that's when this standoff started. Now, from the ground, you can get a better sense of what's going on. You can see the woman clearly inside the truck. She kept her hands outside the window for some time, waving them around. Sheriffs making their move just past 9:30 to finally end this standoff. You can see smoke as deputies rushed in. Certainly not what neighbors here are used to seeing. Take a listen.
It's sad to see things like that because it's like it's a neighborhood that's not known for this, situation. And out of the 18 years I've been here, I haven't seen a situation like this. So to me, it's like it's not cool,
And again, that suspect taken into custody just before 10 this evening. The suspect now arrested. Back to you.
And more breaking news, a brush fire in Lake Piru. So far, it's burned about 75 acres near the Blue Lake area. Evacuations were ordered from the cabins at the Blue Point campground, but they have since been lifted. Helicopters, water tenders, and bulldozers are all heading to the firefight.
All right, we now know the name of the father gunned down while camping with his two children in Calabasas yesterday. He was 35-year-old Tristan Boudet of Irvine. CBS 2's Christy Fajardo is live in Irvine with the latest on the investigation into his death. Christy.
Peter Boudet was a brilliant scientist who worked for a pharmaceutical company. Tonight, his widow here in Irvine is trying to stay strong for their young daughters. But making matters worse, deputies say at this point they have no suspects, no leads, not even a motive in this case. 35-year-old Tristan Boudet had a resume most would envy. According to his LinkedIn page, he had a PhD in chemistry from UC Berkeley. But it was his two girls, his family tells us, that were his greatest pride. That's why his shooting death in a tent with his toddler daughters nearby is so devastating and so puzzling.
The campground was nearly full at summer vacation.
Even with other campsites close by at Malibu Creek State Park, deputies say someone shot Boudet just before 5 on Friday morning. Deputies say they found him bleeding and dying inside his tent. His 2- and 4-year-old daughters were with him, but unhurt. Boudet's family tells us his wife, also a PhD, was getting ready to take her board exams, so she stayed behind in Irvine. No one ever dreamed, even fellow campers, that violence would grip such a scenic and tranquil place.
Like pretty secluded, like everything's pretty spread out, like it's pretty quiet, like I wouldn't expect like something to happen.
Now Boudet's family is grief-stricken. He and his wife were planning to move and looking forward to a new life, both as PhDs, and raising their 2 young daughters who shared Daddy's love for the outdoors. Tonight, loved ones have set up the Tristan Boudet Memorial Fund on GoFundMe. They say they want to try to help out his widow during this difficult time. If you'd like to donate, we've put a link on our website, cbsla.com. Back to you.
A bomb scare interrupted a performance at a packed theater in Glendale, just blocks from the Galleria. CBS 2's Chris Holstrom is now live with reaction from some of the people evacuated. Chris?
Jasmine, the show just got out, and by the looks of it, people had a great time. Glendale police also out here tonight making sure that people stayed safe, but also enjoyed the show. A full house for the Gay Men's Chorus of Los Angeles. The theme, the pink carpet. But the group was singing a different tune during the first performance. On Saturday afternoon, Glendale police, along with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, rushing to the Alex Theater with reports of a bomb inside. Andrew Ganesh is in the choir.
Someone very calmly came on stage as they were lowering the curtain and told us that we had to evacuate.
But not everyone knew what was going on.
They started making the announcement about everyone needed to leave the theater, and we kind of looked at each other like, what what does this mean?
A frightening thought for the nearly 1,000 people inside.
Luckily, we had a plan in place of where to meet up and everything, so that came in really handy.
K-9 units also searching the theater. After a couple of hours, the search came up empty. Jonathan Weedman is the executive director of the choir.
I hope it wasn't a hate crime, but let's not be naive. Let's not kid ourselves. We are an LGBT organization, and I hope that is not the case, but I would not be surprised.
But as they say in show business, the show must go on. That's exactly what they did Saturday night, this time with a little extra security.
I can't let fear overcome me because otherwise they win.
And the final show is tomorrow afternoon. That show is at 2 p.m. And just like today, there will be extra security at tomorrow's show as well. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
Good for them. Yeah, that show must go on. Inglewood police, meantime, shot and killed a man right near their police station overnight. Officers thought that he was pointing a handgun at them. You're going to see that in just a few seconds, but it turned out to be actually a pellet gun. And there it is. This morning, a family member contacted police to report that man missing. The person told officers that, in fact, the man was struggling with mental health issues and had left a suicide note inside of his home.
A police pursuit came to a crashing end in Sherman Oaks. The LAPD says officers were chasing a DUI suspect when he crashed at Catherine Avenue and Riverside Drive. His car even hit a street sign, but luckily no pedestrians.
California regulators are starting to inspect detention facilities holding migrant children separated from their parents at the border. Meantime, dozens of protesters here flocked to the federal building in West LA today. About 100 separated children are believed to be somewhere in LA County. Actress and activist Kristen Bell rallied the crowds.
We need you to keep speaking up.
And the group also collected toys. Activists plan to deliver those toys to a border detention center. Dozens of congressional members, including Alan Lowenthal from Long Beach, went to a border processing facility in Texas today to get that firsthand look at the children. They say they saw kids sleeping behind bars on concrete floors and under Mylar blankets.
I cannot believe that we Americans treat our children. I kept seeing my grandchildren in all those cages being treated as animals.
The Homeland Security Department says at least 500 of the 2,300 children have been reunited with family.
President Trump is rallying his base of supporters on the issue of illegal immigration. Today, the president spoke at the Nevada Republican Party's convention in Las Vegas.
We need people to come in, but they have to be people that love this country, can love our country, and can really help us to make America great again.
The president is urging House Republicans to table work on immigration reform until after the midterm elections.
The thrill of victory for Mexico and its soccer fans as the team defeated South Korea. You feel it? Mexico won 2-1 in a very competitive match.
A lot of excitement. Some fans in Huntington Park got very revved up. Burnouts in the middle of the street. A driver sped off as police moved in, and at least 2 people were arrested after throwing rocks and eggs at officers. And crowds of people at Pacoima also celebrated Mexico's win. We're told there were 3 arrests.
And what about fans on the other side? These soccer fans gathered in LA's Koreatown today for that huge watch party. And despite the agony of defeat, many said, of course, they really enjoyed watching that close match between South Korea and Mexico.
Well, a top White House advisor kicked out of a restaurant because of her connection to the president. The controversy coming up.
Plus, a beautiful house being sold, get this, for $1. Are there any catches?
And a surprise during a trip. You see that? Yeah, that's a bear trapped in a family's car.
Not
Amber.
a dog.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so here's a live look with our LAX camera. You can see the low clouds and fog slowly moving in as we speak, but will the June gloom stick around for Sunday? Details coming up.